So this is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today we bring back our friend Robert Meade in the Philippines to talk about a number of things. Has recent inflation hurt Robert's cost of living, and how you need to use details in selecting your perfect retirement location to drive you to take actions towards your perfect retirement overseas. Robert, welcome back to Vagabond Awake.
Dan, happy to be here.
So Robert, so what country are you in now, and where are you from?
Absolutely. Well, I'm in the Philippines. I'm on the island of Mindoro. It's the island. It's a big island just south of the island where you'd find Manila. 14 months. I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada.
And so what countries have you lived in since leaving the United States?
Well, it's been 4 years. It was back in August of 2020 during COVID, when everybody was locked down and not traveling, is when I left the country and I moved to Playa del Carmen. I was there for 9 months. Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Many of you might be familiar. That's just south of Cancun. Absolutely marvelous experience there. Then things began to open up a little bit more and I was able to get a visa, and I moved to Bali, Indonesia. And I lived in Bali for 2 years. Now I moved to the Philippines, and I've been here, as I mentioned, for about 14 months.
That's great. So people are concerned about inflation. How is that, what is your rent and utilities average over the last few months, so people have an idea of how that's affected cost of living?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I thought about that before our interview, so I'd have that information for you. And I wrote down basically what most people are interested in, and that is rent, utilities, general cost of living. Basically, I can just give that a quick rundown for you. I am very blessed that my rent is only $122 a month. 2-bedroom apartment that I'm in right now. It's amazing. 2-minute walk from the beach. I'm very blessed. Here in Puerto Galera on Mindoro Island in the Philippines. So utilities, I have down about $40 a month. Cooking is gas, not electric. So gas, about $6 a month. The Wi-Fi is about 14 bucks a month. Groceries, about 250. We go out mostly. I eat out mostly. I don't cook at home that much, so spend about $400 or $500 a month on restaurants. So household items, etc., yeah, maybe another $200. Travel is something that if you wanted to island hop or go to another island, and which we do, I do quite a bit of traveling. Maybe once a month or once every other month, I'll go visit another island, or I'll go to Manila or Palawan or Coron or one of the other islands. So travel, I average about $300 a month. Almost everybody uses a motorcycle here. Only about 15% of the vehicles are automobiles. And so I, like everybody else, I have a motorcycle. Now, if you were to rent a motorcycle, it would be about $200 a month. On the average, I'm averaging $130 a month for my visa. That includes my extensions and everything else. Without the travel and the variables, you're right around $1,000. To enjoy life and travel, that added on, we're looking at closer to $1,800. Really, there's a big difference. It depends on what your lifestyle is. And again, I have a partner, so very often I'm spending for 2 people. I came up with basic costs being right around $1,000, and that's if you live modestly.
Okay.
Again, that's if you eat mostly at home, cook at home. You're not traveling much. You're just enjoying the location that you're at. And maybe doing some simpler traveling, like just taking your car, your motorcycle to a nearby area where you live. I can literally walk for free to my beaches, 2 minutes from here. So it depends on your lifestyle. Now, I do enjoy music. I like live music. I enjoy going out to restaurants. And when you go out here, Puerto Galera is more expensive than most places in the Philippines. This is a touristy area. So this is kind of like Boracay, Coron. You can live a lot less expensively here, of course, as you have on many of your videos, if you eat local and mom pop restaurants. So if that were the case, my cost would be probably around $1,200, maybe up to $1,500. But because we do like to travel and we do like to go out quite a bit, when I thought about it, I didn't realize how much I do go out when I eat. We go out, we probably eat out at least once or twice a day, every day.
Okay. And so your lifestyle all in is around 1,800. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's if you're living my lifestyle, and I'm not super conservative. I mean, I go out and maybe have a beer or two, and and we'll order. We could get an item for maybe $2, but we might get the one that's $5 a piece. So again, that might sound like peanuts to your listeners, but when you add it up, it really adds on to your cost. So like I say, my restaurant and enjoying the lifestyle of eating out quite a bit is for $400 to $500 extra per month. So if you subtract that from the 1900, you'd be closer to 1200.
So maybe a range from 1200 to 2000, depending on lifestyle. And the sky's the limit, of course, for people that want to, buy the house around
Exactly.
drinks.
And I would say the 2000 is as a couple.
As a
If you're
couple.
single and you're not going out to bars every night, spending all your money, getting crazy, you could very, very well live on $1,000. Remember that your biggest nut normally is your rent.
True, yeah.
And you can pay $400 or $500 a month here, but that's really living in a luxury. And I really was fortunate and blessed. There's a lot to it, but I have a knack for finding places that are super affordable. So for your listeners, if they didn't have the fortune I do of finding that low cost of an apartment, theirs might be $300 or $400, and so they could tack on another, $200 or $300 to that 12 to 18. Depends again on your lifestyle and how good you are at finding a location that's decent. This is awesome where I live, and it's but the costs are great.
In a minute, I want to ask you about how it's important to imagine your details and to picture yourself living in them, which you're the best at. From a work standpoint, what are some of the things you did to find that place that maybe other people that are willing to pay more are not going to do? You get what I'm saying? In other words, what was the extra work you did to find a lower cost place?
The process of finding the place I did. Well, you know what? It really does. We're going to tie it in, but it really goes back to my visualizing what I wanted for my life. And again, you say it's coincidence, you're blessed, things just happen, but things seem to happen for me, not just by coincidence, but because I manifest them. So when I first got here,
so people know, Robert, this is your third time. This is the third time you've gotten crazy deals. So
this is the third time I've gotten killer rent. Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
When I was in Valley, it was one place was $500 for the year.
Right.
Another place was $1,000 for a year, and these are houses, 2-bedroom places with unbelievable. And in Playa del Carmen, Playa del Carmen was my most expensive, $400 a month.
But that was a killer deal.
$400 a month in Mexico, living by the beach, to $1,000 for the whole year in Bali, just off the beach.
So what's the trick?
I stayed at a hotel right next to this where I'm living now. Booking.com got me in there in a beautiful room with a swimming pool and everything else for $108 for 13 days. Unbelievable, right? So I'm really good at booking things online, right? But I know that I'm going to be before I even look it up. Now, while I was here, I looked at about 6 different places all over Puerto Galera, and a bunch of places, but I had some numbers in mind, and what I wanted was by the beach. I met a young lady on the beach, which turns out to be, by the way, my girlfriend that I've had this past year. She's the one that I met that suggested this apartment. So big score there, right? And when I talked to the owner of the apartment fourplex, I got it down to $7,000. That's actually what she agreed to right off the bat, was 7,000 pesos a month, which is, again, was 130, but now it's actually even gone down. That 7,000 is only $122 a month. So I was very blessed, and I did look around though, and I did my research first, but then I met Nika, and everything else is history. But so I got this great apartment, great price. So it can be done. Absolutely.
Yes, and you're a master at it, and I think it's because of the imagination work you do. Like, tell us about. So first of all, Robert has a channel. It's Robert Meade, The Power of Imagination. And not only does he practice what he preaches, but he helps other people accomplish it, people all over the world or whatever. But give us an idea of how it's important to not only imagine what kind of life you want to have, but do it in, I don't know, I'll call it first person, where it's like you're seeing it through your own eyes. Talk about your process and how it is that it just works over and over and over again for you and other people. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, this is what I do is based on it's called the law of assumption. Very similar to the law of attraction. Okay. And the primary teacher for that manifesting technique is Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard is easy to find online. If you go to my YouTube channel, Robert Meade, Power of Imagination, you can see all that information there. So it really, Dan, it comes down to this. It comes down to we become what we think about. you become what you imagine is true for you. So what you believe is true for you is. If you believe you're poor, if you believe you're unhealthy, if you believe that the world's going to hell in a handbasket, that it's too dangerous to live in Mexico, oh my God, or it's too dangerous to travel. Well, yeah, you're right. And you probably will have problems when you travel because that's your thinking and that's what you're imagining. But I always imagine that I meet great people. I have no problem with crime. I'm always having great experiences. I'm just giving you an example of my overall life mindset. I've met amazing people. Mexico was at least 2 or 3 times safer than America, by the way, in Playa del Carmen. I walked the streets at night. I never had a problem there. Now, I'm not at the border in Brownsville off of Texas or something, Playa del Carmen, but still, I didn't see any kind of crime. I was in Bali for 2 years, never saw one thing close to a crime for 2 years in Bali, Indonesia. Nothing close. I've been here in the Philippines for 14 months. We literally leave our door unlocked half the time. Never had anything stolen, never have anybody even tamper with my door. Now, we are off the road, and we do have, it's semi-gated. But if somebody wanted to get in here and rob me, they could. But I've literally, I live in a very safe life, and I think a lot of it has to do with my belief that that's what I am. That's what I do. And so just real quick, I manifested this life because during COVID, during the worst part of COVID, I wrote out what I wanted. I wanted to live by the beach with the mountains at green mountains at my back, ocean in front of me. I wrote that out in the first person present tense, and I imagined my feet in the sand. I could feel the warm sand. I could feel the breezes, feel the sun on the back of my head, the whole scene. I could smell the salt air. All right. I was on a beautiful beach. I have the mountains behind me, the ocean in front of me. If I walk you out to my beach, that's exactly what it looks like. Right? So that's what came into my world. It happened in Playa del Carmen, it happened in Bali, and it happened here. Right? The woman I'm with, I literally manifested. I actually wrote out qualities that I was looking for in a woman. She has all of them. I didn't find her on the internet. I didn't find her on a dating site. I found her walking on the beach just as I had imagined. I imagined I would meet the woman that I wanted to be with. I would meet her on the beach organically, and that's exactly what happened. So I have processes that I teach people, and if they go to my channel, they can take a look and see if it interests them. If they'd like to know more, they can find out.
That's great, Robert. I think that's a great summary. And I've known you now, is it 4 years now? When we met in Mexico in, was it 2019 or 20, something like that. It's a good 4 years, right?
4 years. The first interview was in early 2020, I think.
If you'd like my free ebook about how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 17 years and how I pay for things, come to Vagabond Buddha and grab the free ebook.
Yeah.
And then I think this is number 6. I'm not positive, but I think this might be our 6th interview.
Yeah. So
because we did 2 in Mexico, we did 2 in Bali, 2 here now.
And I don't know, to me, the proof's in the pudding. And you know, the human mind is an amazing thing. I don't think people fully understand yet the gift of the human mind. And I think that you've proven over and over again that your technique works and the guy you follow, which is, you know, it works for you. And, you know, I kind of visualize my life in the same way that you do. So I sort of feel like I'm also a version of that. So, you know, I recommend people go over to your channel, Robert, and check it out. And you know, I provide information, but you provide inspiration, I think. And so go over to Robert's channel, check out what he's doing, listen to his videos. Life is a mind game to start. Once you get your mind straight, then the rest of it just sort of falls into place. I think that's what Robert's the best at. So Robert, thanks for coming back and sharing your story and giving us an update on cost of living in the Philippines. Right
and
on.
So Dan, it's always my pleasure. It's an honor to talk to you. I do have a full playlist of my travels. So I'm not the travel guru that Dan is, but I have a nice playlist there if you'd like to know more about my travels and how I was able to accomplish it.
The first link in the notes below this YouTube video is to Robert's channel. The second link is to my full report on Puerto Galera in the Philippines.